Did you know that less than 5% of the ocean has been explored up to this point? It's been said that if we were to somehow travel to the deepest points of the Big Blue, in the most secluded regions, we may just find creatures and beings the likes of which we never could have imagined. And that sense of wonder and horror alike is hard to escape. But luckily for us, Subnautica managed to capture it perfectly. It's a game built entirely around the idea of exploring the vast yet claustrophobic depths of the ocean, and is the perfect setting for crafting one of the most memorable game worlds out there. In Subnautica, you start out in shallow and lush waters, near where your spaceship crash landed on a mysterious planet, and it's your goal to slowly build better equipment and travel into deeper waters to figure out what's going on and how to escape. The key to this formula, though, is the exploration. Everywhere you go in Subnautica is full of new and interesting creatures and plant life, full of color and mystery, and the way in which you traverse this world is maybe the most interesting part. Since you're playing underwater for most of your playthrough, conserving oxygen is a key step to staying alive, and this means to travel deeper and deeper into the world, you must keep upgrading your character and their equipment and abilities in order to venture forth. And throughout it all, you can craft bases and set up markers for future places to go, and this is all spearheaded by an exploration system that focuses on player freedom. Unlike most open world games where you go to towns and get quests that lead you down specific paths, Subnautica focuses purely on the exploration aspect, where simply seeing something off in the distance that catches your eye is the catalyst for another great journey. And because the game takes place primarily underwater, the things you get to see and discover are unlike any other game out there, where in some of the darkest waters you can find creatures that make monsters in other games look like puppies. I still to this day remember my first time crafting the sea truck in game and finally venturing into the deeper waters that had eluded me before, turning on my headlights as the sea became darker and darker, as I slowly nudged my way past hordes of algae and strange looking fish, only to discover caverns full of glowing crystals, massive underwater volcanoes, and Leviathan-class monsters the size of my entire screen. And there's more moments like this even earlier on in the game too, like paddling through schools of fish as they scurry away from you in fear into small holes in the ground that you can then dive into. Or even the slower moments, like swimming into a part of the map you haven't seen before and finding another crashed ship from years before that went missing as well, making your way through the structure and uncovering the secrets of what really went on, and reading the PDAs of people who tried to survive for years and the struggles and torture they went through in their final moments in this cursed ocean. It's things like this that make the world of Subnautica so special, because they all feel like your discovery. They aren't predetermined quests with a big payoff at the end, but rather you're just going out on your own adventure and discovering more of what the sea has to offer, as you slowly understand more and more about what's going on around you. More than most games out there too, Subnautica actually feels foreign. This isn't a setting that has lots of parallels to what we experience in our real lives, with towns full of NPCs and political strife that connects to the real world. It's a game that's fully focused on that thrill of exploring a place you don't even understand, about discovering the wonder and enigmas of a world that's a lot more fantastical than our own. To me, it's the type of exploration I wish more games had, because it really lights the fire in our imaginations to know what's out there, but this time in a setting that isn't space. Hearing the sounds of a massive sea monster ahead of you in the dark that you can't see as you slowly descend into the abyss of the ocean is an eerie feeling that almost no other game can capture. And the game flow of how you even move around these massive 3D spaces is just awesome, considering since you're underwater the traversal is much different than most standard games. Even getting around in Subnautica is more fun than your typical walking around in other open worlds. And it also makes all the survival aspects of the game that much more enjoyable because it fits the setting so well. Trying to remain alive in a new world that you don't even understand is a lot more interesting in my opinion than just surviving in a scary forest. Subnautica is just one of those game worlds that comes together and creates something really special and unique, where every little nook and cranny and each new place you discover is a whole new experience that you can't get from any other game out there, or at least not in the same way. And that's because one of the most important things about a captivating world in games is a setting that feels fresh and unique. And considering no other game has managed to pull off underwater exploration like Subnautica, it surely takes the crown here.